Hey, how are you? What's up? So, I just came back from watching Ready Player One, one of the most highly talked about movies of the year. And boy, oh boy, did that movie blow my mind. I mean, seriously, that movie was a joy to watch. It was visually stunning, and it just made me happy. Just, one of those Spielberg movies that just stays with you, like E.T. or the original Indiana Jones movies or any of Spielberg's stuff that just, Spielberg has a way of bringing out the kid in you, which is one of his most famous traits. Obviously, the average viewer could be attracted to the references and the video game stuff and the movie stuff, the TV stuff, the comic book stuff. There's just Spielberg, and obviously the author of the book Ready Player One. They just took every single piece of pop culture they could find and threw it into this movie, which was incredible. And guess what? They also managed to make a pretty interesting story out of it, which is not really easy to do when you have this many moving parts in it. So, let's talk a little bit about the performances now. Ty Sheridan as Wade Watts was a brilliant leading man. Now, he's also, I believe, Cyclops in the new X-Men movies, but he didn't really get a chance to shine there because the focus wasn't mainly on him. This time, however, the entire movie is really centered around him, and Olivia Cooke as the love interest, Ben Mendelsohn as the villain, as always. He's right up there, by the way, looking over me at everything I do. He was great. All the actors did their best. T.J. Miller as the CGI Skeletor, whatever. Simon Pegg, everyone. I really enjoyed all the actors in this movie and all of the avatars in this movie, because I always thought that Steven Spielberg, yes, he's one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, but he wasn't much of I didn't really peg him as a pop culture fan. I didn't really see him as the guy who's enjoys video games or comic books or stuff like that. So I was surprised at the amount of Easter eggs and references he was able to shove into this movie, and then somehow made it a pretty entertaining experience for everyone to watch. And by the way, the theater I was in was pretty full, especially since it was a holiday today. But overall, I would say that this movie is one of the most beautiful movies I've seen this year, and I have seen Black Panther 4 times now, so I know what I'm talking about. So I recommend you watch this movie. It really is just a fun experience to yourself and to the family, because it really is a multi-generational thing, because Spielberg was able to put stuff from both this decade, the early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, and even the 70s. So pretty much all your family can watch this movie and enjoy it for what it is. It really is just a huge Easter egg of a movie. That's what it is. Of course, it's got an amazing story behind it. It's a driving force for the plot. But even without the story, it was just fun. I really don't have any way to express that any more than just experience it for yourself. It's an amazing movie experience, and I think anyone who loves life should watch this. So, I really hope you were able to somehow make sense of all the nonsense I was just spewing out of my head, which is barely working anyway. So, thank you for listening. Leave a comment if you like, and tell me how I could have done this little review better. Share, like, and subscribe, as you probably already know the drill. So, thanks for listening.